This is Superintendent Brian Tygeson. This is the third in a series of video clips that I am doing for those who were not able to attend any of our public presentations. This particular video clip is on the scope of the project itself. The first component is the actual new facility, which is an early childhood center, which would be serving the preschool students, the kindergarten students, and the first grade students that are currently at the Dilworth site. So those students are in 11 classrooms of the Dilworth site, and we would be moving them over to the new building. The new facility would have 6 sections per grade for kindergarten and first grade. We would also have 6 additional classrooms that could be utilized as flexible classrooms, meaning that in years where we have more than 6 sections of either K or 1, that would be the priority of the classroom space. If we don't have 7 sections, we would also be able to utilize those for some expansion if we want programming expansion as a school district in our early childhood. But the priority would be, of course, for the kindergarten and for the first grade growth. We would also have special education classrooms for OTPT, occupational therapy and physical therapy, our English language learners, and our speech. We would have shared spaces for music, art, gymnasium spaces, and a community access, community resource room would also be included at the new site. At the Glendon site, which has elementary, K through preschool through grade 5 currently, and has our high school, 9 through 12, we would reconfigure that so that it would have preschool through grade 4, because all of our 5th graders would now be going over to the Dilworth site, and we would have that would allow for some expansion also at the Glendon Felton Elementary site, because it would be pulling out those students out of 6 classrooms, so freeing up some space for growth at the Glendon Felton site also. We would have added classrooms at the high school, a new wing. This cost for this site would be a little over $7 million, $7.42 million. Of course, we would have the expansion of the cafeteria in the commons area, and a major concern at each of our sites is the drop-off for students. Currently at the Glendon site, people have to come in on the main road on Park, and they are pulling up to the building on the east side and then backing out into traffic. We would remove any of those entrances so that all of the drop-off of students would be on the north and south end. And we would also move the office, the high school office would be moved into the new entrance that would be on the south end of the building. At the existing Dilworth site, which has a budgeted cost of $4.77 million, we would have a new 2-station gymnasium. Our existing middle school gymnasium is approximately 8,500 square feet. The 2-station gymnasium, each of the stations would have 6,000, so we would be adding 12,000 square feet of gymnasium space onto the building. We would reconfigure the building so that we would have middle school 5 through 8 on the second floor of the building, and the first floor would have grades 2 through 4, so that each of our sites, both at Glendon and Dilworth, would have preschool through grade 4. The last component would be the location of our baseball fields. We talked before about, and all throughout this process, about making sure that we are trying to make the most economical decisions feasibility-wise for infrastructure, and it's much more economic, efficient to move the fields instead of trying to move, put a building further to the north. So we have budgeted $1.4 million for moving the fields directly north of where the new building would be. The last component on the scope of the facility expansion would be on the bonding cost. Bonding and finance cost is $460,000. So when this would, upon passage of this referendum, you can see what the grade configurations have been. As I've said, at the Glendon Felton site, at Glendon, we have all of our fifth graders currently. We would be reconfiguring so that at both Glendon and Dilworth, we would have preschool through grade 4. Then the middle school would be 5-8. So for 4 years, all of our students would be at the Dilworth site. And then for 4 years, they would all be at the high school at Glendon. This is a conceptual drawing of what the new building would look like. The facility is, of course, right now, Main only comes up to 4th and it dead ends. Main would be extended on the west side of our property. Our property ends right at this point. So it would extend to that point, and any further expansion of Main going to the north of our property would be assessed across landowners, property owners to the north of our property. All of the assessment of Main up to our property would be assessed to the school district. And I have a frequently asked question that I've responded to that cost. So if you get a chance, if you want to take a look at that particular one, and there's more expansion on it. This is again conceptual drawing of the new building. The idea is just showing how there would be a separation of where people would drop off their students and pick up their students compared to where the buses would be coming in. This is a drawing showing concept again, site plan, showing at the Glendon site for our elementary and high school. You'll notice that park on the east side, we have full expansion of the commons and cafeteria area for the students. More classrooms all the way through this east side of the building. The entrances, the student drop-off for elementary. This area is currently on the north side is currently playground. The playground would just move directly to the west. So this is showing the concept of having the playground further to the west. Drop-off loop for students on the north side for the elementary. You no longer have entrances on the east side of the building. Same for the high school. You would have a drop-off loop on the south end of the building. New high school office. So again, looking at the safety and security measures to make sure that we have both our elementary office and our high school office, principal's offices, right at the locations of where students are being dropped off and picked up. The Dilworth site, the new construction, of course, is the 2 new gymnasiums that would be put in. So they would be directly to the north of our existing gymnasium. We would put a new parking lot to the north of this gymnasium. We would also remove, the school has property directly across the street on the west side that has a house currently on this property. That would be removed, and we would put another parking area directly across from the main entrance for the middle school. That's the end of the part on the scope of the project. Again, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at the school, either through the email or the phone numbers listed on the website.